Hello and welcome to this training video on setting up and performing target generation using the AVX-10K flight line test set from Viavi Solutions. With the target gen and uat-gen applications, you can set up to 5 static intruders to paint targets on the unit under test. And with a GPS simulator like Viavi's GPS G1000, you can also generate audible resolution advisories. In this video, we will be discussing the settings and procedures for both target gen, which is generating targets at 1090 MHz, and uat-gen, which is generating targets at 978 MHz. We will look at saving custom scenarios. We will also look at saving test generator parameters and viewing the results. Let's look first at the target gen application. After turning on your test set, open the TCAS target generation ribbon and select the target gen application. Icons can be moved around within each ribbon. You can learn more about that and other interface information in our user interface video. There are no unique test setup parameters for target generation, however, there are several modifiable parameters on the main page of the application. As a reminder, the common test setup parameters, like test method, gain and loss settings and position settings, have all been covered in our video titled Common Test Settings and General Preferences. The first step is to generate a scenario, and like the TCAS application, some CAN scenarios, airborne target and surface target, are provided to get you started. 7 custom scenarios can also be saved. Press the Save Recall Configuration button to view the provided scenarios. The suggested approach is to start with the airborne target configuration, make modifications to fit your needs, and then save the configuration. Before running a test scenario, the aircraft under test needs to be set to an airborne condition and altitude needs to be simulated using an air data test set. In order to generate audible resolution advisories, you will need to leverage the Viavi GPS G1000, or similar, and simulate a flight path through the generated targets. Note, care should be taken when testing over the air, as targets may appear on other aircraft displays. Once a scenario has been loaded, any of the values displayed with a blue background can be changed as desired. Enter the latitude, longitude, and altitude of the aircraft under test. This is the reference point that the 5 targets will be using. Target type can be set to ADS-B, ADS-R and TIS-B. If target type is ADS-B, the ADS-B type can be toggled between airborne and surface. Now you can set each of the target's bearing, range, and altitude values to place and point targets towards the flight path of aircraft under test. All values are referenced from the aircraft under test location and height. Targets can be enabled and disabled by clicking on the green or red indicator. Again, please note, care should be taken when testing over the air, as these targets may appear on other aircraft displays. If you have modified a CAN scenario and wish to save it, click on the Save Configuration button, scroll down to one of the custom fields and click on one to enter the name for your new scenario. Once that is entered, click the Save Configuration soft key. The saved scenario will be retained, and you can load it anytime in the future. Click the View Target Data button to review your target configuration information. Once everything is set up, press the Run key to start the scenario. If the aircraft is configured properly, all targets should be displayed on the aircraft under test. There is not much to see on the AVX itself, other than to verify that the transmit and received lights are flashing. Once satisfied that the aircraft unit under test is operational, press Stop to complete the test. This is an example of the aircraft under test with target generation and a simulated flight path.
Traffic, 12 o'clock. Same altitude, 1 mile.
If desired, you can save the target gen settings by clicking the Save Profile button. Files can be synced to StrataSync and can be viewed locally by swiping down on the system tray at the top and clicking on View Reports. Select the target gen report to view. The information saved here is the data used to generate the scenario. Now let's look at the uat-gen application. With the AVX-10K power on, click on the uat-gen application in the TCAS target generation ribbon. This application is similar to the target gen application, and all setup parameters have been covered in the Common Test Settings and General Preferences video. For configuring the scenario, target type can be toggled between ADS-B and TIS-B, and air-ground state can be toggled between air and ground. Two new fields in this application include payload sequence and site ID. The default settings should work fine, but these can be modified to suit your needs as well. Complete each target's bearing, heading, and altitude as required. Once again, please note that care should be taken when testing over the air, as these targets may appear on other aircraft displays. Once everything is set up, press the run key to start the scenario. If the aircraft is configured properly, all targets should be displayed on the aircraft under test. Again, there is not much to see on the AVX itself, other than to verify that the transmit and received lights are flashing. Once satisfied that the aircraft unit under test is operational, press stop to complete the test. For UAT equipment, the FISB data can also be tested. Click on the FISB tab and set your transmitted FISB information according to your needs. The report field can be toggled between METAR and TAF. Set your day, time, station, and slot ID as needed. Once everything is set up, press the run key to start the scenario. If the aircraft is configured properly, the FISB data should be displayed on the aircraft under test. Once satisfied that the aircraft unit under test is operational, press stop to complete the test. Saving data and viewing reports works the same way as the target gen application. The experts at Viavi Solutions are ready to answer your questions about using the AVX-10K. Send your questions or comments to americas.service@viavisolutions.com or call 1-800-835-2350.